Good morning. As you probably already figured, it's a very bright and very beautiful day here in Udaipur, and we are in this 4x4 SUV trying to climb a hill and reach our next spot, our next destination within Udaipur. This place is actually one more of the many forts and palaces that we've already talked about and seen in the earlier videos. But this one is slightly different. It's also newer, and as you can see, it's almost built in the middle of a lot of wilderness, because all that you see around you, this is actually a protected area for wild animals, and right at the top we'll find our fort. So of course this hill that we are climbing right now is a hill in the Aravalli Ranges, which is true for all the mountains and hills that you'll find within Rajasthan. And the forested area that we are passing through, this is the Sajjangarh Wildlife Sanctuary. So of course the fort that we'll reach soon is the Sajjangarh Fort. The views are definitely getting more beautiful, and we are almost there at the fort now. Here we are. This is the Sajjangarh Monsoon Palace, and we are at an elevation of roughly 1,000 meters now. So where does this name come from? So as is common with a lot of other places in Udaipur, the name comes from the name of the ruler. So Maharaja Sajjan Singh, he was the ruler who was ruling Mewar and ruling Udaipur in late 1800s. In fact, he was one of the youngest rulers of the Mewar dynasty. Wow, look at the wind, feel the wind. And yeah, he was the one who built this palace. Wow, look at those views. And these views, they were of course a primary reason of building the whole place at the top of this hill in the first place, because Maharaja Sajjan Singh intended for this place to be a place from where you could look at the sky, you could look at the stars, and importantly, you could also look at the clouds, or the monsoon clouds. Monsoon, of course, is a very major weather phenomena throughout India as well as Southeast Asia, and it brings rain, which is especially important for this part of Rajasthan. So the Monsoon Palace was actually serving that purpose, or at least was supposed to serve that purpose as well. Of course, given that logic of this place's existence, which was to look at large distances and look at the sky, you can check out those panoramic views. In fact, the lake that you see on the left side is the Fateh Sagar Lake, and on the right you've got Lake Pichola. And of course, like 360 degrees, you'll be able to see all around this hill in Udaipur. There in the background is the actual building. We've now reached at what is the main wall of the Sajjangarh Palace. So this is that wall. Of course, the palace will extend multiple levels further above, but this is where it starts from. And we have a lot of chatter here because there's a restaurant and there are so many people who are eating and talking passionately. It's actually quite astonishing how loud a group of humans can be, especially when you're in a cafe or restaurants. It's almost problematic sometimes, I think. I remember hearing about or reading about this device which would sort of solve the problem of noise pollution in cafes where lots of people are talking and shouting at the same time, and it was supposed to use some sort of noise or voice cancellation so that only people who are sitting next to each other would be able to hear each other. It's interesting. I think we could definitely make good use of that. Wow. Look at that view though. I should try to focus on the Sajjangarh Palace now. So beautiful. We've climbed a little bit higher now. Still not the highest point of the Sajjangarh Palace, but as you can see, this is high enough. And one interesting point to note about the Sajjangarh Palace or the Sajjangarh Fort is that this is actually the highest point within the Udaipur city. Now, what you should also consider is that Udaipur is actually a city as well as a district. And wow, I think the lake is Lake Pichola, I'm assuming, though I'm directionally a little lost. And all of that is of course Udaipur. No, I think that's Lake Pichola. The one on the left hand side was the Fateh Sagar Lake. But anyways, Udaipur city is basically, of course, the city. It's the main center within this bigger area, which is the Udaipur district. So if we talk about the highest point of Udaipur city, this is it, the Sajjangarh Palace. But if we look at the bigger district, of course, there's a different highest point, which is one of the other hills within the Aravallis. This, of course, is the main entrance of the Sajjangarh Palace. So this is where the actual palace begins. Where we were earlier was more like an offshoot of the palace, just at the base of the palace. This is where the beautiful building starts from. That's the man himself after whom this place is named. This is Maharaja Sajjan Singh, and you'll be surprised to notice how young he was when he took the throne. He was only 16. And unfortunately, Sajjan Singh also died very young. He was in fact only 25. As I mentioned a little earlier, just surrounding the Sajjangarh Palace is the Sajjangarh Wildlife Sanctuary, which is where you'll find those animals. And this view is very interesting. So you see the portrait of the father and the son right next to each other, but you would not be able to guess which one is the father, which one is the son. So this person on the left is Maharaja Fateh Singh, and he was the adopted son of Maharaja Sajjan Singh. That's of course Maharaja Sajjan Singh, who started building this place, the Monsoon Palace, but it was his adopted son Maharaja Fateh Singh who completed the construction of this place, and who also did a lot of construction in the nearby areas, including the expansion of the lake, which is now named after him and is called the Fateh Sagar Lake. It is so fascinating that Sajjan Singh was such a young ruler of the whole of Mewar. In fact, he was announced as the king when he was only 16 years old, and he started functioning as the king when he was an adult, which means when he was 18 years old, and he could be the king for less than even 10 years because he died when he was barely 25 years old. I think my average audience on YouTube would be probably in that age, 16 to 25. But here we had Sajjan Singh taking care of an entire kingdom by that age. I'm sure Sajjan Singh would have witnessed the same views that we are looking at right now. But of course, he was able to have a much bigger impact at the same age. I'm sure these guys are having a big impact as well. Just love these creative poses and photography. I think, I'll be honest, this visit to the Monsoon Palace, it has been so much more inspiring than I thought it would be. And the primary reason is, of course, one is the views, and the second one is getting to know more about Sajjan Singh himself. Definitely worth a visit. Just absolutely love these views. Of course, we don't see any incoming monsoon clouds right now, but I'm sure many people have over the years both tracked those clouds and also enjoyed those clouds from the Monsoon Palace. But anyways, I'll catch you again. Bye.